Hey, it's Trisha. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I am bringing you a spoiler-free review for Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. Ace of Shades was the Owl Crate book of the month for April, and it was actually one of my most anticipated releases for spring of 2018. Ace of Shades follows N. Salta, who finds herself in New Rains as she is on a desperate search to find her missing mother. Armed with only her finishing school etiquette and a letter telling her to find the mysterious man Levi, N soon realizes why this place is called the City of Sin. In a city that is no place for a proper young lady, N teams up with the street lord Levi to learn the rules of the city and play the game that contains the secrets to her mother's disappearance and to even the secrets of her own past. Before I get into my thoughts on the different portions of this book, I do want to put a caution warning out there that there is a feeling of pedophilia in this book, and it is condemned in this book on a couple of occasions. It is something that is very much looked down upon and called out. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about the world building. There is some interesting world building here, but it gave me some pretty mixed feelings. I love the way that the city is described as this kind of grimy and gritty place that nobody really wants to be in, but can't help but be intrigued by, and that you are kind of sucked in by this little glimmers and glimpses of your hopes and dreams and the possibility of making it big. But aside from the two cities that are mentioned, New Rains and the city where N's finishing school is, it doesn't seem like there is anything else to this world. We don't get any, I didn't get any sort of feeling that there were any places beyond these two cities. Additionally, we were given some really interesting politics and history to the world, but it kind of fell flat for me because it was presented in such an info dumpy kind of way, and it was really convoluted, very confusing to follow. Now, in world building, I do appreciate it when authors take the time to use slang words and craft slang words and curse words that are unique to their world that fit into the feeling of the world, and I really like that when it's done appropriately. However, in this book, it didn't seem to work quite as well as I would have liked. The curse word that is used throughout this book is muck or mucking. It's M-U-C-K. And I found that, yes, I can understand that it was meant to invoke like the dirty and mud-like feel, I guess, but it's so close to fuck. It's so close to our curse word that in our reality that it felt like the author may have been just a little afraid to go full force into the decision and may have been afraid of coming off as too crude or crass, and that they were taking a step back to tone it down a little, and that just didn't work for me. Next, I want to talk about the characters. In all honesty, I had a really hard time believing or connecting to any of the characters in this book. N is a proper young lady who has gone to finishing school, and when she arrives in New Rains, she is scandalized for all of half a second, and then seems to toughen up and undergoes a change that seems really inconsistent for the pacing of the book, and in all honesty, she doesn't seem to go through any true growth. And unfortunately, the character that I thought that I would like the most, it turned out to be the biggest disappointment for me. I honestly didn't care for Levi's character at all. Levi is a street lord and a con man with a heart of gold, but he just felt completely unbelievable to me. I honestly don't believe that Levi is capable of running the city or being the leader of a gang like we're supposed to believe he is, because he just seems no good at any of it, and he doesn't require the ruthless sort of persona that is required to be a man of his standing. I was honestly looking for a Jax Teller sort of character here, and Levi just fell so flat compared to that sort of bad guy with a heart of gold. For those of you who know the reference, or you will understand. For those of you who do not know, Jax Teller is the main character in the Sons of Anarchy TV show. definitely a ruthless badass who wants to get his motorcycle gang out of gun running and wants to go and put them in a clean situation. So I was looking for that with Levi, and I just didn't get it. Additionally, I did not buy the chemistry between N and Levi. I felt like it was very lackluster, it wasn't believable, and I didn't get romantic feelings from their interactions. I felt like it was very forced and it was kind of being shoved down our throats. I could see friends, but nothing romantic between the two of them. On to the plot. I thought that the premise for this book was really interesting. I enjoyed being along for the ride of the mystery and the adventure, but the danger of this book seemed to be lacking and really could have used a little more oomph. It wasn't terrible, but it really just could have been turned up a notch for a little extra excitement. And while I did enjoy some of the twists and turns that this book took, I feel like some of them were presented in such a convoluted way that made it really confusing to follow. Especially the end. The end was extremely anticlimactic and really confusing. Overall, I didn't really enjoy this book, but I didn't hate it either. So I ended up giving it 2.5 out of 5 stars. I would probably recommend this book for the younger end of the YA reader range, probably for someone who enjoys the lightly gritty, mysterious sort of adventure type book, but it doesn't seem to be a book that I would recommend for the older end of the YA reading group. It did happen to remind me a little bit of Caraval by Stephanie Garber, but it didn't seem to hold the excitement or the pizzazz or the sparkle that seemed to come from Caraval. This just seemed to fall a little bit flat in comparison. But if you liked Caraval and you want something that is maybe a little more gritty, try this. Try Ace of Shades. All right, so that is it for my spoiler-free review for Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read this book. What did you think about it? Let me know what you thought about some of the non-spoilery aspects. I will have a spoilery discussion going up as well, so I will link that in the card for you to check out if you are so interested. And now is a perfect time, if you have not already done so, click that little subscribe button down below if you want to see more content from me in the future. And if you want to follow me elsewhere on the interwebs, I have all of my social media links in the description box down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!